Hey everybody, my name is Natalie Duncan-Emmons. I wanted to thank you for listening to this episode of The Morning Show. I'm the creator, the producer, and the host of the show. We want you to check out our website. It's themorningshowwithnatalie.com. You can go to that website. You can see all about our sponsors, all about the show. You can even listen to live episodes while they're going on right there from the website. Another way to listen to the show live is go to Live 365. You can download that app and just search for The Morning Show. It's right there. Super easy. We want you to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel if you will. That way you can keep up with what's going on the morning show. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it. Well, my name is Natalie Duncan-Emmons. You're listening to The Morning Show. It's Thursday morning, and you know what we do on Thursday? We throw it back to a hit from the 80s or the 90s. And well, today we're throwing it back to one of the most beloved groups in gospel music, one of the most legendary and influential groups of all times, and that is the Dixie Melody Boys. The Dixie Melody Boys were founded in 1961, and they've seen over 80 members come and go, but none have been more known or more loved than our guest this morning, Mr. McCray-Dove. McRae, are you with us?
I'm here. Good morning.
McRae, we've been excited about this. This is a huge honor for us on the morning show.
It's an honor to do it. Thank you.
Look, I want to go back and just reminisce a minute about the Dixie Melody Boys. They had some big songs in their day, had some big albums, but I believe Antioch Church House Choir was the biggest album that they ever had. And if I am correct, I believe that was the only number one song that the Dixie Melody Boys ever had. Am I right about that, McRae?
Yes, you're correct. And also, Dixie Melody Boys recorded it twice. The number one hit of it was recorded before my time. That was around 82 or 83, might be 81. And then we re-recorded it in 95 when I was with them. Ed wanted to slow it down because the original version of Antioch Church Choir by Dixie Melody Boys, it was faster. It was like please let me sing in the choir, please let me sing in the choir. It's at that speed. And Ed wanted to slow it down, so we went in, slowed it down, and kind of rearranged a few things, added a little choir to it and that kind of deal. So it was sent as a single again. And I think he holds the record with Singing News and the only group to ever record the same song twice and single it twice. And it was a top 5 hit twice. Number 1 the first time and number 4 or 5 the second time. So, but it was only number 1.
That's a big deal right there. And I was not, I do now that you say that. And in my mind, I'm going back and I can remember that first recording, and I remember it being a different voice and it was faster. And I remember that now, but I had not thought about there being the two different recordings of it. That's pretty fascinating, McRae.
Yeah. Daryl Holt wrote it. And then he also wrote the recitation, which was like the part 2 of, it was called Uncle Jesse. And so we recorded that on the first album that I recorded with Ed on the Back Home cassette. But they hadn't started CDs then. But it was a recitation, which was about Uncle Jesse right before he passes on to glory. He recorded this and they played it at the funeral. And it was really, it's really good, really touching. So the affiliation with Daryl Holt and Antioch Church Choir and Uncle Jesse has been a team with Dixie Melody Boys for years. So
yeah. Well, I've always wanted to know something. And since I've got you right here, that story that they tell in that song, of course, it's such a touching story. And I'll say this, when I was about 5 years old, and this is one of the first songs, not the first, but one of the first songs I ever sang when I was just a little bitty girl. And I remember my mama coming in my room when I was about 5 years old, and I was just crying and sobbing. And she came in and said, "What's wrong with you?" And I said, "I keep listening and I keep thinking they're going to let him sing." And they never let him sing in that choir. They never let him sing in it. So the story of the song is just so touching. And I've always wondered, was there a truth to the story? Was it written about somebody that was, was it a true story, or was this just a song that was made up? Tell me about the story behind the song.
True story. In fact, the man was named Uncle Jesse. In fact, there's a line in the song when Daryl wrote it, he wrote it exactly how Jesse was. there's a line in the song that says, let's see, where it says, they always sat in the very same pew, humming in a voice loud and rough. The original line to that is dipping on a can of snuff.
You are kidding.
And so Ed changed that line because, I mean, Darrell wrote it exactly how Uncle Jesse was.
Because that was him.
So the original line, yeah, that was him. I mean, so, but Ed said, I don't think we want to do that. So he changed the line to, Ed being a great songwriter as well. Ed just changed that line, humming in a voice loud and rough. So,
isn't that
but the original line is dipping on a can of snuff. So,
well, the song has always been special to me. I think it's been special to everybody in Southern gospel music. And, you know, we just wanted to give it a little honor today. I wanted to go back and throw some honor to Ed O'Neill, the Dixie Melody Boys, and, you know, and to McCray-Dove, because we love you guys and you're pretty legendary.
You're very kind. Thank you. I miss performing and seeing old friends and folks like you and all those who I met down through the years. And so, you know, we do a couple of original Dove Brother Quartet reunions here and there. So I get back out there a little bit, but nothing before. But
it is
I miss
all
memories,
I do
miss all y'all.
Sweet memories.
Yeah, amen. Yep.
Well, here's that song. We want to play it. No, you don't regret a mile. Absolutely. And you've got a lot of miles to tell about, McRae. Here's that song that is so sweet and precious. And we just want to remember it today. It's the Dixie Melody Boys, Antioch Church House Choir.
Please let me sing in the choir, Please let me sing in the choir. One old man can't be all that bad. Won't you please let me sing in the choir? I guess you'd say he's a fixture. Around town they all knew his name. And every time the church bells rang, Uncle Jesse, he up and came. He always sat in the very same pew, humming in a voice loud and rough. When it came to the Antioch Church House Choir, Uncle Jesse never heard enough. See, he always wanted to sing in the choir, but he couldn't sing a lick, don't you know? Why, he tried out for the Antioch Choir 34 years in a row. He'd always get to the tryouts early. He wanted to try out first, but instead of singing, getting any better every year, it just got a little worse. He'd say, please let me sing in the choir, Please let me sing in the choir. One old man can't be all that bad. Won't you please let me sing in the choir? One cloudy Sunday morning, I remember it was raining some. The church bells rang and everybody came except Jesse, he didn't come. And everybody started getting worried, but they figured they'd start anyhow. Just as they did, just his voice came booming down from heaven, and I don't know how. He said, I found me a choir that'll let me sing. Now I'm singing in the choir, and I can lift my voice just as high as yours, maybe just a little high. Well, I found me a choir that'll let me sing. Now I'm singing in the choir. You folks down there, you can hold me a light, 'cause I'm singing in the heavenly choir. Oh, I found me a choir that'll let me sing. Now I'm singing in the choir, and I can lift my voice as says I'm young, maybe just a little high. Oh, I found me a choir that'll let me sing. Now I'm singing in the choir. You folks down there, you can hold me a light, 'cause I'm singing in the heavenly choir. Please let me sing in the choir, in the choir. Please let me sing in the choir. One old man can't be all that bad. Won't you please let me sing in the choir?
Well, there
Okay.
is that special song, Antioch Church House Choir by the Dixie Melody Boys. We love that song. We love the story. And every time we hear it, it's just like hearing it for the first time, McRae. Never gets old.
No, it doesn't. When I started the Dove Brothers, I got requests for it all the time, and so we did it one time, and that was when we did the reunion at the Memphis Quartet show, and we did it that night, and so we had never done it before, but we did it that night, and so it's a great song.
It's precious. Well, look, while I've got you here, I don't want to keep you too long, but there's another song that the Dixie Melody Boys did way, way back. I don't know what year. It was a long time ago. I don't think it was ever a #1 song or anything like that. I mean, we just said the Antioch Church House Choir was the only #1 the Dixie Melody Boys had. But look, I remember this song, and it was so special. And I'll throw this in. When I was small, when I was just a kid, there was a show on television, and it was the show that everybody watched. It came on Friday nights, and we all waited every Friday night to watch the Dukes of Hazzard. And I'll say this about the Antioch Church House Choir. There was a character on that show, Dukes of Hazzard, that was called Uncle Jesse. And so in my little mind as a kid, that song was always about Uncle Jesse off the Dukes of Hazzard. That's, who I pictured in my mind. And then I had this other song called Good Old Boys. And I think that was a throw off maybe of the Dukes of Hazzard's theme song too. And I just loved that song, talking about, being a good old boy. And it's not enough to be a good old boy. Good old boys don't make it into heaven. It takes more than that. This was a great song. McRae, you did not record this, but I know you know the song. Can you tell us a little bit about Good Old Boys?
Oh yeah. That was the start of when the Dixie Melody Boys started the venture of what they called it Christian country. And they did that for, I don't know, around probably from 83 to about 87. And that's when I came. Then he went back to more of the quartet style of singing. But, it wasn't a #1 song, but it was a high charting song. I mean, in fact, I remember when it came out, I remember listening to Paul Howe when he was going down the countdown and saying that was the fastest riding song at the time. And a lot of folks loved it, and it did, like you say, a lot of people identified it with Dukes of Hazzard. But it was different, and it was very exciting. And so I think Ed heard that song, if I remember correctly. He heard that song at the Joyful Noise. It used to be a supper club, singing gospel music supper club in close to Atlanta, Georgia. And so the guy would have different writers and groups and things come along. And he said, Ed, here's a song you might be interested in with the style y'all developing. And he played it for Ed. And Ed liked it and recorded it. And it's a song a lot of folks still request today from him.
Yeah. Well, it's a fun song. I have never forgotten it after all these years, and I'd like to play it today on the morning show. Here's the Dixie Melody Boys going way back. Just a good old boy.
Good old boys, they come a dime a dozen, doing good as they care to be. And everybody loves to be around them, 'cause a good old boy, he'd never harm a flea. But the only life they know is their pleasure. They live the life of the things that they enjoy. When you ask about the love for Jesus, they say, don't worry about me, I'm just a good old boy. Good old boys won't make it into heaven. Good old boys won't wear a crown. Good old boys won't live forever.
where the saints of God are found. So don't you dare be misled, only Jesus gives real joy. You can take it from me, I used to be a good old boy. The weekend comes and they're out on the road again, Waylon and Willie playing on the radio. They worked all week and they didn't cheat one person, 'cause a good old boy, he's good, don't you know? So good old boys, I beg you heed my warning, 'cause very soon we're going to see the Lord. And when he asks just why you should go to heaven, I pray you won't say, I've been a good old boy. Good old boys won't make it into heaven. Good old boys won't wear a crown. Good old boys won't live forever, where the saints of God are found. So don't you dare be misled, only Jesus gives real joy. You can take it from me, I used to be a good old boy. Good old boys won't make it into heaven. Good old boys won't wear a crown. Good old boys won't live forever, where the saints of God are found. So don't you dare be misled, only Jesus gives real joy. You can take it from me, I used to be a good old boy. You can take it from me, I used to be a good old boy.
Well, McCray-Dove, you have sure made our morning special. Thank you for taking time out of this Thursday morning to spend a little time on the morning show and help us to reminisce about some sweet memories about the Dixie Melody Boys.
Well, thank you. I traveled with them for 11 years, and I talked to Ed O'Neill every day. And he practically raised me. I was 17 years old when I joined the group, and I stayed for 11 years. And learned a lot from Ed, and he's doing well. In fact, I talked to him before we were going to do the interview, and he said, "Be sure to tell everybody that the old man said hey."
Oh, isn't that something? Well, look, we want to get Ed O'Neill on the show sometime. Maybe you can help us with that.
Yeah, I can make that work. I would say this: he's got a new book out that he wrote, and it's called "One Old Man Can't Be All That Bad," which is a line from Antioch Church Choir. Yeah. And the reason and how that came about is every time we would sing with the Rex Nealon singers, and Rex would see Ed, and Ed see Rex. Rex wouldn't say, "Hey Ed, how you doing?" The first thing he would say, he'd go, "Well, one old man can't be all that bad. How you doing, Ed?" And that's how the title of the book came. But it's a great book. It tells the story of Ed's life and a lot of great road stories in the book. They're pretty funny. So,
well, look, if you're interested
it's been an
in
honor
that,
to be with you.
Yeah, if you're interested in that book, I think you can go out to the Dixie Melody Boys website and order that book from Ed O'Neill.
You sure can.
So everybody needs to get a copy of that.
Yeah,
I'm sure that would be extremely interesting. I'm gonna get that. McRae, I want to end out with this song. I know we've been focused on the Dixie Melody Boys today, but I can't have McCray-Dove on the show and not play a song by the Dove Brothers. And I want to end out with this one because McRae, you've had some amazing songs vocally that you recorded through the years, but now I don't have any proof. This is just the host of the morning show's opinion. But in my opinion, this song right here is the best vocal cut that you ever did. It's the best I ever heard you sing, and you've sang some good ones. So that's saying a whole lot. But this is my favorite Dove Brothers song, and it's Hold On. Remember that one? Oh, brother, won't you hold on?
Yeah, thank you. That's the one they say that if George Jones was going to record one, he would have recorded that one.
Well, he wouldn't sing it as well as you did. I can promise you that.
Thank you.
McRae, thank you for spending time with us on the morning show. You got a friend here.
Bless you. Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to end out this segment with the Dove Brothers. Hold on.
Oh, brother, won't you hold on? Hold on. Hold on just a little longer. Help's on the way. I can feel it getting stronger. Hold
Jesus said. Trumpet's gonna sound that'll wake the dead.
Before you know it, we'll already be gone. Friend, just hold on.
You've heard it in a sermon, sing it in a song. By the signs that we see, friend, it won't be long. So I'm just gonna repeat it, 'cause I still believe that the church will soon be home where we belong. Oh, brother, won't you hold on? Hold on. Hold on just a little longer. Help's on the way, I can feel it getting stronger. Hold on. Hold on. Saints are gonna rise like Jesus said. Trumpet's gonna sound that'll wake the dead.
Before you know it, we'll already be gone. Friend, just hold on.
It may be in the morning, it may be at noon. I don't know the day or hour, but I know he's coming soon. So friend, just keep believing. Hold on, just keep listening for the final call that'll sound for me and you. Oh, brother, won't you hold on? Hold on. Hold on just a little longer. Help's on the way, I can feel it getting stronger. Hold on. Hold on. Saints are gonna rise like Jesus said. Trumpet's gonna sound that'll wake the dead.
Before you know it, we'll already be gone. Friend, just hold on.
I said,
Friend, just hold on.
oh, brother, won't you
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on just a little longer. Help's on the way, I can feel it getting stronger. Hold on. Hold on.
Saints are gonna rise like Jesus said. Trumpet's gonna sound and awake the dead. Saints are gonna rise like Jesus said. Trumpet's gonna sound and awake the dead.
Before you know it, we'll already be gone. Friend, just hold on.